There we go. It's recording.
Varuna, that's an awesome background that you have.
Yeah,
very nice lab.
Thanks. This is our the dual robot AP system. So we can build a part without a tool.
You are just walking around there to make everybody jealous.
Yes.
Yeah,
Give us a
so
tour.
yeah, those two robots kind of work like an English wheel. So it can make a, somewhat of a simple contour part without a tool.
Okay, but they're not composites, not automatic tape lay.
It is. It's thermoplastic in situ. Yeah, thermoplastic.
Oh,
in situ
thermoplastic.
consolidation.
Okay. Mhm. Excellent. Good work.
Thank you.
Professor Tsai, you need to tell us how is good to be there. We're eager to go there. 94 is not for everybody.
Hey, Thierry.
Hello, how are you?
How are you?
Good.
Welcome back.
Daniel, long time no see.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
very
that's-
true.
Yeah.
True,
Just like to,
that's true. How are you all? You look great.
well, we'd like to thank you all to have a chance to meet all of you. And we have been here in Honolulu for 4 years since our 90th birthday. Many of you were there, and we came here soon after that. We came here August 15th, so that was 4 years ago. And Iris had aspiration pneumonia, and that was a cause of food getting into her lungs, and that was caused by eating when she is lying flat in bed and not sitting up. And then COVID-19 came, and we were stuck here in Honolulu. It turned out that was a better deal because we have a much better care than we would have been had we been in Palo Alto. And so then unfortunately she had the pneumonia again. We forgot not to eat in the bed, and so she went to the hospital. Hi, Jocelyn. Hi, Clemens.
Hello, Steve. Happy
how are you?
birthday. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
It's so great that we...
Try to give you a summary of what happened the last year. And
Quite a bit.
so she went to the hospital in April 15th to be exact, and was there for 20 days and then went to rehab. And now she came back about a month or so ago, and she's making good progress and not choking anymore. And so we're very happy, and we're very happy where we are. And she's having some memory problem, and but she's eating well and strengthening her muscles, and so we plan to go to Los Angeles end of this month. This will be the first time we have traveled in 4 years, and this is the occasion when my younger brother would turn 90. And then we have the 4 of us. We have 4 brothers. We're all in our 90s, and that must the reason for a celebration. So we decided to go to LA and to have that. And
Very good genetics.
yeah. So
Perfect.
we're looking forward to that, and then we will go up to Palo Alto. We go to LA for 3 days, and then go to Palo Alto, and we still have things there, and try to throw things away, and that's going to be a painful task. But then we'll go there for 4 days, so and come back. So TE is kind of early, isn't it, for you? Thank you.
Yes. 2 a.m.
2
Oh my
a.m.
gosh.
That's okay.
Thank you for
Happy
staying up.
birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Jocelyn, thank you so much.
Happy birthday, Steve. It's very
Oh,
exciting. I'm enjoying this once a year event.
Oh,
That's right.
Let's keep it
Well,
going.
yeah, next year we should go everybody to Hawaii and make the composite design workshop from there, because it's 95. 95 is good, right? It's a good day.
yeah,
for-
yes.
for
We'll
celebration.
have a big celebration of 95. Everybody's invited. So we'll let you
Good
know.
idea.
Yeah.
Let's
And,
do the
That's a
workshop in
wonderful
Honolulu.
yeah,
I'd love to go there.
We'll think of something for you to come. And we had a great time last time at Stanford, and that was help from Grace. Grace was a person who could facilitate all the things that you need to do. Just ask Grace, and George can attest to that. And but Grace will retire tomorrow. Will be her last day, and we'll miss her because she is the one that facilitates things, and that's what a administrative assistant should be. And George and I can George can attest to the fact that when we were a student at Yale, we had a department secretary who apparently we're more power than the department chair. If she didn't like you, then you're not going to get a degree. So that Grace was just the opposite. Grace made things work, and Mrs. Malley, that's her name, and she typed my thesis. And in those days, you physically type them, and then I want to make some changes. Then she said, "No, you don't change that," and it will be approved. She said, "Will be approved." I say, "Okay." If she says going to be approved, I figure they'll be approved. So, so that's the case. So we'll miss Grace. Grace will retire, and I'm sure George will agree. What she has helped me for sure. So, anyhow, we're so happy to see all of you, and appreciate setting this up. And hopefully next year.
I have a cake here. So I don't know, you guys. Do you feel like singing happy birthday?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do it. Happy
Okay.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear
Steve.
Happy birthday. Oh, you can blow, Professor Tsai. Make a wish and blow it.
Thank you so much.
Excellent.
I think Carlos will not shave before we
yeah, that's
do
a
this
promise.
perfectly.
It's winter here, so the winter we still a beard, and the summer that's okay, but the winter.
Yeah,
we
very
have a
good.
beard.
Yeah, very aristocratic.
Clemens, I want to tell you, your students,
Yeah,
some of them really did follow the workshop very closely, and they were very nice. They
it's
responded
nice
with
to hear.
letters.
Yeah, I think one of them will start a research master now next semester, and and yesterday we were discussing his plans for the master thesis, and this will be on double, of course. But yeah, we need to wait one more year for that. Yeah, but I'm happy that they were able to attend, and thank you very much, and the whole team again, that you make this possible. This is really, really great. Steve, you said, yeah, the young guys need to make the changes. Yeah, we probably cannot do it anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Professor Christensen, how are you?
Yeah, I finally got through on
How are
the
you?
Zoom. Hi, Steve.
Hello.
Bart, Hi, everyone.
Oh.
My
you
Zoom
look-
didn't seem to want to work, but finally it did.
Oh, that's great. Is this your apartment?
This is my apartment. I'm sitting right here.
Oh,
I have my work and my computer right in my living room. They said, no, that goes in the back room. I said, no, it's in my living room. And here I am.
You're right.
that's the most important piece of furniture you have, huh?
That's the way I look at it. And it's so great to see all of you.
Oh, yeah.
In a
that's so-
few years, huh?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nice to
4
see you.
years.
Dick. It's very nice.
Yes. Well,
Is
nice
that,
of you.
who's that at the bottom?
Yeah. And TE is going to be at ICCM end of this month in Belfast.
Oh, neat.
He is going to, if you don't mind me saying so, going to propose Singapore to be the host for ICCM 4 years from now.
Oh, great.
Good
That was,
choice.
Mhm.
Good choice.
All of us will support that. And
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
wow. You
have some votes here, Steve.
Yeah, we had an interesting case of ICCM has a Scala lecture that's supposed to be
Oh, yeah.
the leading the honor of P. Scala, who started the ICCM. So this year is Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton is a speaker, and that he works for an organization that has decided not to authorize his trip to ICCM. So anyway, the question becomes, how could that be for a presumably leading personality in composite materials who can't get his employer to substantiate to pay for the trip, and that this is within England, so the trip must have cost no more than
Yeah.
£1,000.
Crazy.
And they asked ICCM to pay for it, and so everybody agreed, but I said no. I said the guy should pay for it himself if he has to, and it's hard to believe that an organization wouldn't be, but it turned out that one of the reasons they invited him because he is a consultant to an organization that decides funding for research. So that's like a YAPA for years. Always give a talk to ICCM because he too controls money for research. So for the young guys who like to move up and to join a government, so you control the funding. So
He was involved in WW exercise, like Worldwide Federal Exercise.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was the guy.
That,
Yeah.
he-
Mhm.
He talked about that, I don't know how many times at ICCM. It went on, and but the surprising thing is that it didn't get funding, and which is hard to believe.
If I were him, I would hitchhike
Right there. Does anyone know what hitchhike means anymore?
Yeah, on the road again.
I
Jack
used to
Kerouac.
hitchhike to college.
Oh, I don't know how many. I know, of course, TE will go to ICCM, and Naresh will go to ICCM. Jocelyn will go and Carlos will be there, and Daniel will be there.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Great old team.
are you going to be there?
Who are we talking to?
I am actually going to see my parents the same week, so I'm gonna miss that.
I see. So anyway, we have a good representation of double people. Yeah.
Is there anybody from your test team, Varuna, who's going to be there?
I am not sure at this point, but I was looking forward to, but I haven't seen my parents for a while. Unfortunately, that was the only time my kids can take time off. So
Right. So anyhow, that's they expect 1,000 people there in
Wow.
Belfast, and so we have a second edition of the book on Double, and thanks to Jocelyn and others who helped out tremendously, and that is being printed in Belfast so that it will be released then at ICCM, and hopefully will help us.
So Professor Tsai, I'm building a wing here pretty soon, and I have one of my staff members going through your articles and trying to see if there's a way we can incorporate that in the complete wing skin. Just build the traditional way and maybe introduce double D and see how, just to do a comparison. So if you have any latest articles, I'll like to see them so we can incorporate them in this exercise.
Well, that'll be great. We love to see that, and because we know Airbus is doing right now, making the study, and this is work by DLR, just in Braunschweig, outside of Hamburg, and that they're replacing a upper wing skin that had over 200 laminates with one double in plus or minus 0, plus or minus 54, and then they're going to do it on the fiber placement, and that will hopefully show tremendous increase in the deposition rate, and also with a better quality laminates. So hopefully that study. But we would love to work with your people, whatever we can do.
Yeah. So here pretty soon, this cell in my background there. This is a different electro-impact cell. We can build a 60-foot long part, but that wing skin is not going to be that long. But it's already designed using the traditional ways. But we love to kind of use your methodology and kind of do a comparison, direct comparison.
Yes, that'd be great. We'd be happy to do that and to show what the difference is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be in touch.
Henry, how are you? Yeah.
Hi, good morning. Good
Morning.
afternoon.
How are you, Henry? Thank you to see you.
Yeah, so nice to see you.
Yeah.
Steve, does Akira Karashi, are you in touch with him? And how is Akira?
Well, Akira left Kawasaki. I mean, left his former employee. You know,
Was it Yamaha?
Yeah. He works for a motorcycle. I think Yamaha. He works for Yamaha. He switched jobs in Japan. In Japan, it's very rare people switch jobs, and he switched jobs, worked for that, and Yamaha was trying to get into the vertical takeoff. You know, like many companies. So we saw him and his family. He's very nice. He always traveled with his family, and he was at our birthday party 4 years ago, and then he was here in Honolulu, and he's doing well. And but he's no longer in composites. He said motorcycles and no composites. They have very little.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
we did love motorcycles.
Yes. So he's a man of your love and a motorcycle.
That's about right. My former love.
Yes.
Nowadays, it's all gone.
Yes. Yes.
Well, Steve, Henry here. Can you hear me, Steve?
Yes, very clearly.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I want to share with you a very short story. Just July 4th, 2 days ago, I was on a boat in Santa Barbara with Charlie Munger. I guess some of you might know him, the vice chair of Berkshire, and he's celebrating his 100th birthday.
Wow.
And also, in the meantime, just 6 months ago, Henry Kissinger celebrated his 100th birthday. So then there's an article, in Chinese article, saying that why these two men never run, never walk, never exercise, and eat anything they want, not following the order of the nutritionist. How could they both celebrate their 100th birthday? There must be a secret formula. So I know Charlie Munger. He came to my campus all the time. Every time when we had a meeting, his driver told me that they have to sneak out to the In-N-Out to buy a hamburger, because that's the time nutritionist was not watching him. So that's the story. Then the conclusion is very simple. Is these two men have one thing in common, is they work like a young man, like a young woman. I mean, Steve, I thought of you. You are like this. I mean, never give up, just keep working. And that's the secret formula. Once when you keep your mind exercised, your whole body is following.
Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice. We appreciate the comments. And before I retired, one of the persons, Steve Donaldson, as you know, your student.
Yes, he was my student. Yes,
was his father-in-law, who told me, who was a draftsman at Wright-Patterson, and he retired and had not a very pleasant life. And I remember he offered me advice. He said, when you retire, make sure you keep working. Don't give up. You gotta work. You gotta work. Do something new or do something, but don't just sit there and on a rocking chair or whatever it may be. And that was the advice. I'm happy I was able to do it, because I keep on making mistakes. I think Dick Christensen can attest to it, and we both try. And I'm surprised that I can still do it. And I'm very lucky to have all the support from all the people we have here. And it has been really a wonderful experience. And so I'll just keep going until the time comes when I can't do it anymore. I'm sure I'll be the first one to know. If I can't see or can't write, can't operate a keyboard, and maybe that's the end. But until then, I'll just keep trying. Thank you so much, Henry, for the story, because some of you are approaching that age too, and not so much so, but it will come. And I think it's the same advice: is just keep going, don't stop. Thank you for the story, Henry.
Let me add a little to that. 2 days ago, I turned 91, and people I hear I'm in a large retirement home.
Yes.
People here ask me, why are you still working? And I say, well, I think I have this thing called the academic disease. And that is it. You know, it's in your blood. You can't do anything about it. Might as well do what you want.
That's great. With your yellow pad. You still have yellow pad. I can see right behind you.
You got it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right
And
there.
I got to add to the 100-year-olds. Here in a retirement home, there are a few 100-year-olds. In a few days, I'm going to a birthday party for a lady who turns 100.
Yes.
Her husband was in World War II. He was a naval officer, and his ship was hit by a kamikaze airplane. And she still has a remnant from the crash of the kamikaze airplane. And she's a remarkable lady. And all these people I know here in their 90s are truly remarkable. They have this lust for life, you might call it, and I hope they live forever. And I'm partially following in their footsteps, but mostly I'm following in Steve Tsai's footsteps. Thank you, Steve.
Well, thank you.
I think the miracle, Steve, is writing 5 books in 4 years, like you.
No one can equal that.
Yeah. I had a colleague when he retired. He said, "Yeah, we engineers are doing the things we like," and I think this is the key. We are doing the things we like, and why should you stop doing the things you like? Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Yes, you see, there's no pressure. There's no pressure. You do it at your pace. You don't have to satisfy the monitor. You don't need money. All you need is idea, and you don't have to chase other government officials for money. And you don't have to go to meetings. You don't have to defend what you do. You just do it on your own. So it's such a complete freedom, complete control that you have that you never had before. So I think that Dick can attest to that, and it's just it's a fun thing to do, and if we can still do it, we just keep doing it. As simple as that. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you want to make a marathon, and you go to the start line and you say, "I hate jogging," it will not work.
Yeah, but you guys set up a very good example for a lot of us. So thank you also. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
We have a situation here in our retirement home. This place, the place where I'm in, called Kahala Nui, is supposed to be the best in Honolulu, has a total residents about 400, and 250 are in independent living, and about 150 in the nursing care. And we have a new CEO that came in 2 years ago, and who apparently is not doing a very good job, and runs into conflict with the CFO, the financial officer, who happens to be a Chinese, and he would try to do things that the CFO says, no, you cannot do it because that's either illegal or improper. And so they butt heads for the last year and a half. And then 2 weeks ago, and he fired her, forced her to a leave of absence. And now the whole place is in turmoil because 75% of the residents signed a letter saying the CEO must go. And we bring back the CFO. And so we're in the middle of it. And what's interesting, I try to find a lawyer because I think it takes lawyer to put some kind of pressure onto the board. It turns out the lawyers wouldn't touch it because the lawyers just like a fraternity. If a case causes internal pressure, they wouldn't take. And these guys, they don't care what the case is, they wouldn't take it. And so I finally found a lawyer, and because it's a very complicated case, and now the residents try to go public and to say what the case is. And so we're in the middle of a very dirty fight. Who knows what the end will be? But it's a case where everybody stands to lose everything, and nobody gains anything. So it's something that is spinning out of control. We can just see what is happening. So we're very, very distressed with the fight, and so we'll let you know how it will end up. But it's really a very difficult situation. So,
Gee, trouble in paradise. What can you depend on anymore?
no. These lawyers are terrible. You know, you think that you present a case. I talked one lawyer that I know very well, and she said no, she can't handle it because there's a conflict of interest, and that wasn't the case. So she's told me to go to so and so. So I contact so and so. They wouldn't even call me back, and so I have to try several times. So I finally got one yesterday, and but it's really the case. They have a fraternity. They have two loyalties. Where's of course to himself and to his fellow professions, and they don't really care what the case is. Certain case they say run into a conflict, they wouldn't do. That's it. Of course, unless I give them a financial offers of such a magnitude that they couldn't refuse, but I'm not in a position to do that, unfortunately. But I was really surprised that the lawyers are not really independent operators. They are a fraternity. Engineers maybe should organize too. Say, hey, we don't handle such case because it has a bad political consequence. And but engineers are never like that. We have a lot more integrity, and than what my experience has been. I was really surprised. I thought lawyers, if you would pay, they would do, but that's not true.
Mhm.
Really,
Well,
it's the board that's at fault. The board should be, when you make that case about, you know, misactions by the CEO that the CFO has caught, the board should be on top of that. And so it's disappointing you don't have a, you know, well-standing board. I
No.
just joined the board, the head of the Pentagon, all these, my former, you know, executives, Honorable Al Schaefer invited me. And so I'm on the board now for Falcons Landing, which is for retired military people here in outside Washington, DC. And, you know, I like to think we're all honorable people and we do the right thing. And our job one is to evaluate the performance of the CEO and to do the succession planning. And in what you've described, I mean, the board should absolutely step in. So, I mean, that's the whole purpose of the board. So that's disappointing.
Well, we tried to go through, reach the board, talk to a board member through people that I know. And the board member refused to talk. They say it's like a hot potato. They don't want to talk about it. They are not doing their jobs because they are supposed to oversee the operation, approve. And so anyway, it's a messy situation, and that people serve on the board and they don't do their jobs, and they haven't. And so it's a case of I told my lawyer it's a case of corruption, a cover-up. It's the same old story. And so it's, who knows how it is going to end up.
well, you probably have a new board election every year and find someone to run. You run.
Yeah. No, anyway, that's it.
Well, normally
It's very
boards-
disappointing.
boards are-
Very disappointing that that you can't get lawyers to take cases. They don't even want to hear it. They knew about it. I mean, like a fraternity, you know. They just they say no. Their conflict of interest, they're too busy, or give you some excuse, or just totally ignore, no response. And
Oh, don't you have a lot of lawyers who are residents there?
yes,
And
but
don't they want to touch it?
no. Well, some do, others don't. It's really hard, yeah.
So this is where social media can help also, right? I mean, usually that doesn't happen anymore because of social media. You know, you can't get bad press and you have the activist shareholders. But I would think that you could do something to just embarrass them and make it self-evident that he has to resign and leave.
Yeah. There's specific cases, you know, that was done in violation. What happened is our organization is a not-for-profit. When it's a not-for-profit, it has a much stricter control by the government. The government give you tax, relax, no tax, but in return, they have the right to oversee what the operation is. So I think that is one thing in favor of the residents, that if the government ever comes in, and then they're in all kinds of trouble, because the government will look into every step. They're going to find out their actions and so forth, and was not really properly done. But anyhow, that was. Maybe next year I report what happened. If the Kohala Nui went bust, the whole thing collapses, we would say, hey, we're pitch out in a tent outside the old building.
Yeah, there's an annual audit that they have to submit and get reviewed, and their points of observation. So those would all be red flags that would bring in more oversight. as
Oh,
you
yeah,
say.
it would be terrible. You don't want anybody to come in and do it for
Yeah.
the CEO and the board. So,
You know,
anyhow,
I
Steve,
have a first, sorry, go
yes,
ahead.
sorry, Steve. I have so many cases every year. Every time when there's a case, the lawyer always say, well, find all this evidence, this and that. We're going to win the case for you. So I get excited. Then after a little while, and the lawyer is going to come to tell me, sorry, I did not notice there are new evidence coming out. Situation getting worse. Then I said, what should be the solution? You better settle. The quicker, the better. You just settle. So every case eventually end up settle. Of course, settle you need the money. So that's
yes.
well, that seems to be a routine formula. You can smell it. It's going.
Yeah, they like that. But I have an alternate solution, Steve. You nominate Jocelyn to your upcoming board, and I'm sure she will clean up their act efficiently and quickly.
Well, I am
Then,
definitely going to reach out to my board colleagues and explain the situation and see what we can do. I'll try to nonprofit, see where the audit is and where the contacts are. And yeah,
Yes.
we can definitely look into it.
Yes.
And one lawyer was giving advice to the students that the best lawyer is to be a patent lawyer, because patent lawyer will never get involved in a case when there's not somebody's making good money. If you're not making good money, nobody would bother with your patent. But once when you make money, you can be sure the lawyer's going to be swimming like a shark around you.
I'm afraid you're right, because the cases you described all along, the lawyer's being paid, so he or she has nothing to lose, and then she and he can wash their hands and say, hey, settle. But in the meantime, they were receiving handsome pay, hundreds of dollars per hour, and we're not, doesn't have the same accountability as engineers. Engineers, when you deliver a design or perform a test, you better have the data. You better have the design. I mean, so people say, well, where's your data? Waruna, where's your data? And you can't just say, hey, let's settle. Let's not settle. Or just say, hey, we don't need the data. And
that's a problem with the engineers. Like von Karman was saying something. I could not paraphrase what he said. Basically saying all the scientists discover the things we have never discovered in the world, but the engineer is create a world that has never been created. So engineer's problem is that whenever you got a problem, you want to solve it. And but if you don't solve a problem, you feel very uncomfortable. But you know, some of the disciplines, their problem is their profession is not to solve a problem; it's to create a problem. I don't have to get into too much of that. You know, just by protesting and demonstrating and create a problem, somebody's going to solve it for us, and so that we can get elected.
Yes. That's
well. Steve, let me tell you another joke. I shouldn't use the word joke because you are expecting something funny, but actually it's not funny. This is one of my students who got elected to be the mayor of Taipei, and his dad was retired as the Joint Chief of Staff and the Prime Minister, and he reached 100th birthday. You know he's 99. Then you know, in the Chinese history, Chinese custom, when they give you the best compliment is that we wish your marriage can last 100 years. We wish you can live 100 years. So they send him something with flowers saying that we shall live 100th. He said, what do you mean? I'm 100th birthday. I mean, so the guy did not even think about it. So Steve, you know what I mean. those Chinese people just think that 100 is, but that was hundreds of thousands of years ago. But now the world, people live a lot longer than that.
Yes, yes. In our retirement home, there are people who are 100, or one is 104. And it's really amazing. You can't tell at all. After you certain ages, I guess you become ageless because it's really your physical conditions. That's what they say. It's not the year, it's the miles. Talking about cars, how many miles you have rather than what year you have, what year of the car. And I think that is true in people too. And some people have the longevity and the fortune to go. And we know one person who just turned 104, and absolutely you couldn't tell what her age was. And
Eric has to explain that the Chinese
Something-
traditions of 100 years is no longer fitting the bill due to longer longevity of the people. Maybe you need to switch to the Japanese model where they wish their emperor to live 100 times 100 years, so 10,000 years.
I'll tell you an old car story.
Yeah.
With all these old people I live with, myself included, it's about the same size as your place, Steve. I think you said yours was 400 people or something.
yes,
Mine's about 300.
yes.
And they do organize a lot of activities for people. It's really a wonderful place, just something of everything. And someone tried to organize an old car show. Turns out I'm the only guy with an old car. Couldn't find any other old cars. I have a 66 Mustang that Christy and I bought new.
Yes,
It still runs, probably runs better than I do.
Yeah.
So I offered to put my car in the car show, but I
Yeah.
told them a car show isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Better find some more cars.
oh. What year is that car, Dick?
1966.
Wow. That's one of the earliest models.
Oh, the two first years, 65 and 66, were the very best ones in terms of value.
Yes, yes. I remember it was 65 and you were down in Newport Beach. You came and
You're so right. I
Yeah.
remember that too.
yeah, yeah.
And you were at, was it Aeroneutronic?
Yes, yes. Then I went up to visit you in Berkeley.
Oh, you had a workshop there.
Yeah, we had a workshop, and then on one occasion I went up there on a rainy day, and we started drinking martinis. In those days, you would drink martinis,
Boy,
and
I
we had.
remember.
Then I had to drive from Orenta, your place, to San Jose for a party. I didn't know how I made it, but I did. In
Well-
States, you drink and drive. It's only in the recent years you don't drive when you drink, but in those older days, you don't worry about it. You just drive, I suppose. And we were. I remember we spent all afternoon drinking martini with Christy and you, and we were in a rainy day at your home.
Yeah, but I'll have to add that, thank goodness, a little bit of wisdom and judgment comes with old age. Yes, we did that in our wild youth, and now we just plunk along,
Yes,
and let's keep doing it.
yes.
We believed back then that cars already had autonomous driving, right?
Yes, that's well. Jocelyn can say, in the United States Air Force, they're very proud. They know how to drink, how to drive, how to smoke, and all the bad things. And that's what a macho. You got to be an Air Force officer, to be a pilot. You got to be able to handle all the other things. And those are trivial things. And they had happy hours. And I used to go have lunch at the officers club. And it's not unusual that the colonel I work with always ordered double martinis, not singles now, but then they have a two doubles. You know, have a two doubles. Then he goes home. After that, you might as well go home because he can't work. And so those are the days. And finally, they stopped. They stopped serving hard liquor at the officers club.
Good. Good. They have happy hour here in the restroom every Friday night. And I'll
Yes.
tell you this, and you know, there's a whole lot less old men than there are old women. Those old women can still put away the martinis and Manhattans. I just stand back in awe. Plus, I want to dance, and if I drank that stuff, I couldn't dance.
Well, thank you so much for all of you. You know, it's a wonderful, Naresh, for you to your first lady, you would appear that she went away. Yeah. For her.
She's on call today, so they called her. That's the reason she went away.
Yes. Well, you thank her for her contribution. And,
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, all of you. Thank you
Yes.
again,
Okay.
Professor Tsai. Happy birthday. It's
Yes.
very nice to see you
Birthday.
all.
Yes,
Philip,
Yes.
you can finish,
Thank
okay?
you.
we thank
Okay.
David.
And all the best.
He in particular, who's about 3 o'clock now, and stay out all night for this. And you did that last year too. So
Oh,
Yeah.
true.
okay. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Bye-bye all.
Bye.
Thank you so
Steve,
much.
and
Happy
Bye-bye.
birthday
Bye,
again.
all
Happy
of you. Yeah,
birthday.
it was good
Yeah.
to see
Many
you
happy
again.
returns.
Yeah, we're all doing very, very well.
Thank you.
Very good.
See you
Take care.
guys.
Bye.
Steve.
You can stop recording.